Hi students, now the third video about limits. So E is a number 2.718, raised to infinity is infinity, but 2.718 if you raise it to power minus infinity, it will be, for example, 1 over 2.718. It's up power minus infinity, down it will be infinity, so it will be 1 over infinity, which is 0. So that's why we say limit as x tends to infinity of e power infinity is infinity, and e power minus infinity, the limit is 0. So e power minus infinity limit is 0. So we admit that limit as x tends to infinity of ex is infinity, limit as x tends to minus infinity of ex is 0. Here you can use infinity over infinity Hospital's rule, but exponential is stronger. Why? Because derivative of ex is ex and x is 1, so ex over 1 is infinity, or we say always exponential takes over variable. And limit as x tends to infinity, if you apply here infinity over infinity Hospital's rule, it will be 1 over ex, a number over infinity 0, or we can say variable is exponential is stronger, as if you have a number over infinity 0. And limit as x tends to minus infinity, here is you have minus infinity times 0. Instead of doing Hospital's rule, we can say exponential is stronger, and the answer is 0. If you want to use exponential Hospital's rule, you put x down, x up, and ex will be down what? E minus x. Now it is infinity over e power minus infinity infinity. If you do Hospital's rule, it will be 1 over minus e minus x, and as x tends to minus infinity, it will be minus e power infinity, which is minus 1 over infinity is 0. So instead of doing all of that process here, so no need. Variable is exponential is stronger than variable. Since exponential is stronger, so it exponential will takes over the variable. So minus infinity times 0 is 0. So variable is stronger than logarithm, but exponential is stronger from logarithm and variable. It's the strongest. So here limit as x tends to infinity, so this is infinity times infinity, which is infinity. Here infinity plus infinity, infinity. Here infinity minus infinity, we need to put in factor. So you can put exponential, which is the strongest. So you divide here by ex and here by ex. So it's x over ex minus 1. Here exponential is stronger directly, like we did here. So it's instead of doing Hospital's rule, so it's 0. Or if you do it Hospital's rule like this one, or you can put it directly 0. So 0 minus 1 times infinity, so minus infinity. Here you have variable and you have ex down. So first of all, this is infinity over infinity. Exponential is stronger, directly you can put 0. And if you want to do it Hospital's rule, derivative of x is 1 and ex is ex, a number over infinity is 0. Here it's infinity over infinity, so Hospital's rule, 3ex over ex is a 3. Here as x tends to minus infinity, this is 0, e power minus infinity 0, so you have minus infinity over minus 2 infinity. As x tends to minus infinity, 3 e power minus infinity is 0, so it's minus 2, and 0 minus 2 is 1. Minus 2 over minus 2, it is 1. Here as x tends to 0, infinity over infinity. Okay, so here what do we do? Sorry, as x tends to 0, e power 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 2, e power 0 is 0, 0 minus 1 is 0, so a number over 0 plus or minus infinity, depends if it's 0 plus e power 0 plus is bigger than 1, it will be plus infinity. 0 minus, it will be less than 1, e power 0 minus, so it will be minus infinity. Here as x tends to minus infinity, so this is 0, 3 power minus infinity is 0, certainly 0 plus, because exponential is always positive, over minus infinity, so this is 0. Limit as x tends to minus infinity, so this is minus infinity over 0 plus, so it is minus infinity. Limit as x tends to minus infinity, directly you can say exponential is stronger, so directly is 0. And if you want to do it Hospital's rule, you keep x up and you take ex down, it will be the power negative. If you do Hospital's rule, it will be 1 over derivative of x is 1, here minus e minus x, and e power here infinity, because x tends to minus, minus and minus plus is 0. Here this is 0 over e power 0 is 1, so 3 minus 3, so you have 0 over 0. Always when you have 0 over 0 or infinity over infinity, we can apply Hospital's rule, so it will be 2 over 3ex, and x tends to 0, so e power 0 is 1, so 2 over 3. Here if x tends to infinity, 1 over infinity is 0, so e power 0 is 1. Here if it's minus infinity, 1 over minus infinity also it's 0, so e power 0 is 1. And limit as x tends to infinity, the variable is stronger, so you have infinity times 0, it is 0. Or you can apply Hospital's rule, you keep x minus 2 up and you take e minus x down ex, so now it's infinity over infinity. You can apply Hospital's rule, 1 over ex and 1 over infinity is 0. So that's it concerning the limits. Now the last video will be about graphing.